All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live as the stock markets are open this Wednesday, December 2nd. We are in a brand new month, so we can now go ahead and take a look at the monthly charts, not only in Bitcoin, but also across other markets and see where those candles closed. Let's go straight to the charts. All right, we're going to kick it off with Bitcoin. Here is the monthly chart of Bitcoin. And as you can see, we are hitting an MRI top, warning you that, hey, I should consider getting out of the market. I didn't do a stream yesterday. Took a day off to kind of think about the price of Bitcoin. I was on a couple of other streams, one for Cointelegraph and one for Ugly Old Goat. And I'm still, I'm still concerned about the current situation and whether it should have a bigger pullback. Let's first analyze the monthly chart. This run up, this MRI bullish trend started with April. So April was the first month of the trend when we finally, bounced off the COVID crash. And this is time to consider taking your profit. Now, if we look at the history of Bitcoin on a monthly scale, at the last couple of times, it hit an MRI top on a monthly scale. We have the one in May of 2016, which did not top the market, but the market topped a month later. Now, there's a slightly different case right here in that the halving was coming in July. So you can say that the MRI was wrong, and it didn't top us on the MRI month. Look how much further we went, and percentage-wise, we went pretty far the following month. We went an extra 45% up. If you extrapolate that to today, though I don't think we would go 45% up, but if we go up 45%, that puts us at almost $30,000. But we all know Bitcoin loves to rally into the halving. It also did it this time around as the halving came in May. Granted, we crashed a few months earlier, but there was certainly hype going into the May halving and the price was rising. So I would not, and I wasn't talking about the MRI back then, didn't even exist, but I would have been screaming top less often here because first of all, the candle that preceded the MRI top was a consolidation candle in a 6-month consolidation period. It's actually a miracle we got the MRI top to begin with, considering how much consolidation took place. This time around, the candle preceding the MRI top was a giant bullish candle. Completely different environment. That makes me a lot more bearish this MRI top on a monthly scale than I would have been this one. But the candle after did top us, and we did have a legitimate pullback of 38% peak to peak. And on a monthly scale, which I shouldn't really be using, we should be using weekly scale. And on a weekly scale, we had a good 20-25% pullback here on weekly candle, close to close, I guess. So now we come to the second MRI top in the last bull market. And this one, things certainly slowed down. We had a bearish candle. That bearish candle, the candle after the MRI top, certainly topped the market. But once again, look at the candle preceding the MRI. that was not a bullish candle. That was once again, a neutral candle, a consolidation candle. It was a volatile consolidation candle, but certainly a consolidation candle. This one also came with a bunch of extension tops, which we don't have this time, but we just kicked them off. And once again, this monthly MRI top came with a 30% peak to peak pullback. And now we come to the third MRI top, which once again was 1 month early. There seems to be a pattern. Now, this candle preceding the MRI top was certainly a very bullish candle, similar to what we had this time. But the candle before that was a consolidation candle. We just had 2 monster candles in a row leading into the MRI top, and we all know what happened after that. So this is why I'm cautious, this particular MRI top. Now, there were 3 other MRI tops. There was an MRI top here. You don't see it on the BLX index, but if I pull up Mt. Gox, there was an MRI top right there. This MRI top came on a craziest, biggest monthly candle by percentage we probably have ever had in the history of Bitcoin. That was a single monthly gain of 1,000%. I don't think that would ever be matched again. 1,000% on a single candle. Granted, price-wise, this was, I don't know, about $500 or something. It was 500. So from a nominal perspective, we certainly crushed it this month and many months. But from a percentage perspective, I'm not sure that would ever be topped. I don't think we'll have 1,000% Bitcoin rise in one day. That's insane. That's a 10x move. That means that you wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin is 200, or you wake up on January 1st and Bitcoin is $200,000. I don't see that happening. So this MRI top certainly came in a run-up. This one was also around the halving, which did take place about 3 months earlier, right here at the very end of 2012. So also a halving kind of perspective, but sure, this one did not do a very good job topping the market, and the next one did a perfect job topping the market, just like the very first one did a perfect job topping the market. So as far as I'm concerned, the only MRI top that was completely useless in the history of Bitcoin monthly charts was the February 2013 MRI top. Every MRI top before and after that, so that's 1. I'm treating that one as 2 because it was on Mt. Gox, the most popular exchange at the time. 1, 2, 3, I find this useful. 4, definitely useful. That's 5, and the jury is out. So we were 5 for 6 on the usefulness of the MRI top on a monthly scale. And therefore, I'm going to hold off on buying back into GBTC. I thought about it yesterday and Monday. I didn't do it. I clearly missed my chance to buy back on Friday. I just got so busy on Friday, and I thought I'd still have time on Monday. And Friday was also like a half day. So it's like weird. So Thursday, the market was closed. Friday was a half day. And Monday, it was off to the races. Now, I still have some GBTC, but not as much as I'd like. I'd probably want to be like let me not say the percentage, but it's a very large percentage of my retirement account, because I do feel Bitcoin is not a very risky asset at the moment. That's just my opinion, not investment or trading advice. And I am going to hold off on buying it here. GBTC premium is way too high, relatively speaking. It's the highest it's been for a long time, since March. And I'm going to respect the monthly MRI top and also the weekly MRI top. I am still respecting the weekly MRI top. So here we are onto the weekly scale. And I like how people are saying that, well, people are referencing TD And well, we have the MRI, which, if you understand the difference between the two, is different, but not much different. And you can say it failed. It hasn't failed to me. And I'm looking at the weekly chart. Yes, the top came in the candle after the MRI top on a weekly scale. However, I am going to reserve till next week to judge whether we're back in a bull market. Is it possible I wake up on Monday and the price of Bitcoin is at $24,000? Of course, by then, of course it is. But once again, I'm going to respect my favorite indicator, and therefore I'll only going to hold on to my small GBTC position. And by small, I mean at least 20% of my retirement fund. And that's very small for me. Is there a minimum investment requirement in GBTC? In the trust, yes, it's $25,000. But in your brokerage account, there is no minimum. You can buy one share of GBTC, $20. So the minimum as a private client of Grayscale, I believe it's 25 grand. Used to be 10 grand. It may still be 10,000, but I think they raised it to 25. Don't quote me on that. But to trade it in your retirement fund or to trade it in your regular brokerage account, it's a one share minimum, $20. Or $24, whatever it is now. $23. There it is. Okay, hey, so I actually forgot to check the oscillators. The MACD is bullish as hell. The RSI, however, is getting very close to giving you an exit signal. An exit signal on the RSI is the break of the 70 line, so we're going to wait for that. I'm just not rushing in. I am not rushing in. Hodl position is different than your trading position. I'm not sure we're going to cross 20K this week. I said on yesterday's podcast with Cointelegraph when they asked when is it going to break, I believe Maddie Greenspan said tonight or tomorrow. He said he gave it 24 hours, and I said maybe by end of week, and I'm not as sure anymore. So the GBTC product. So I was very critical of the GBTC product when it first came out, and it was probably one of the few mistakes that I'll admit to. I'm not going to admit that Ethereum is legit, but I have admitted that I made a mistake on being very critical of GBTC. I have actually wish I wasn't critical of GBTC. I don't regret missing out on the billions I could have made in Ethereum by laughing at their ICO sale. But I do regret not, utilizing the opportunity in front of me of trading GBTC. And Tyler Jenks always spoke very positively of GBTC, and he eventually changed my mind of how useful GBTC can be. Now, you should never treat GBTC as your hodl position. GBTC should be your trading position, ideally a trading position in a tax-deferred or a tax-exempt retirement account. If you have the ability to self-manage and self-trade because you're a responsible trader that have probably, hopefully, watched my videos for risk management, which remain on sale. I think I'm going to leave the sale until Christmas. So enjoy. You got one more month before prices rise. I think I lost internet for a minute there. Should be back. No screen share. We're still on the moon. We're still waiting for 20K. And then we'll be using other backgrounds and environments. Let's go back to screen share. As I was saying, normally it's not a good idea to take on wild and crazy risky trades in your retirement account. But if you have watched the risk and position management video, while it's still on sale, I would feel a lot more comfortable with people trading in their own retirement accounts. All right, let's get back to Bitcoin Weekly. Let's look at weekly metrics. The week has not ended, obviously, but weekly metrics, they're all bullish. There's no reason to look further. I already described the week. Let's go to the daily. So let's look at the daily metrics. So we clearly have divergence here with the RSI. We have divergence with the MACD, and we have divergence with the CMF. So there's lots of divergence going on between the top on November 24th and the top on December 1st or November 30th, whichever you like. And that divergence is bothering me a little bit. Yesterday's price action wasn't great, and today's price action is not great either. So while I was debating, I don't want to miss out. And also several of my friends have texted me that they bought MicroStrategies and GBTC and like all kinds of stuff because it's just easier than going out and buying Bitcoin. So a lot of these things are serving as proxies for the price of Bitcoin in their trading accounts. And that kind of makes me a little extra bearish here when your good friends finally start, taking this shit seriously. Now, I don't think they're late. I just think they'll be short-term disappointed. And I will just try to convince them not to sell. But, this weekly top last week and this monthly top this week, I'm going to get back on my pullback horse here. And I am, as dangerous as this freaking sounds, I'm sliding over this arrow. And I'm going to change my mind real quick if we break, if we close at a new daily high close. But right now, I am actually not in a rush to add more GBTC. And I was actually thinking yesterday, maybe I should sell whatever GBTC I have left. So I was put in one of those positions. And I'm sure as a trader, you've been in this position many times. Maybe not many, hopefully not many times. It's actually very rare for me to be in this position. And the position is I'm sitting with some GBTC or you're sitting with some shares of an asset and you have to decide, do you want to double or triple the amount of shares you have, or do you want to sell the amount of shares you have? And you're not sure which one. And that's how I felt yesterday afternoon when we were dropping, and that's how I feel today. I'm actually not sure if I should add to my GBTC position or should I just dump everything I have in GBTC and wait for a bigger pullback. The challenge with a bigger pullback is that 16,000 is no longer a proper pullback for me. It's either going to be 17,000 or 15 or lower. And it'll be interesting where it goes. As of right now, I am back on the pullback wagon. This, especially if this weekly candle closes in line with the last closes. If we close this week below 18.5. If we close this week below 18.5, I'm going to be actually pretty bearish going into next week. I would then consider this weekly MRI top once again, calling the top not perfectly, but close to perfectly, and along with a monthly top, potentially calling for a 1 to 4 month correction, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think the correction is going to last that long. But I still think a 1 month long correction is certainly possible. All right. I don't think the lower level time frames are going to be very useful right now. On a lower level time frame, I become extra bearish right here, and that's probably because I can almost envision a bit of a triangle going on. It's a crappy triangle, but it is a triangle. It is a triangle. Hard to deny it. We have 2 clean touches, debatable if it's 3 touches on the horizontal side. 2 clean touches, debatable if it's 3 touches on the horizontal side. I'm going to go with, 2 and 2. So I do want to see one more bounce of 18.6 into 18.8. And then if that happens, that could be a nasty little drop, which could set up a decent buy the dip. What do we got here? That is $1,300. And once again, that would put us in the low 1700s, which is where I think we can easily go to right now. So I am looking at something like that. It's not going to take us to new lows, but if it doesn't hold 17, the break of 16.2 is going to get us in a lot of trouble, probably to that 14 that I still think has a decent chance of touching 14. Once it goes to 25, 14 is off the table. But prior to going to 25, 14 is certainly on the table. So I'm gonna hold off. I'm not buying back in. This video is going a little slow. I'm being very detailed here. I forgot to check the funding rate. The funding rate's very important. And oh, this is a nice scale actually. And the funding rate, you can clearly see that the funding rate has been favoring the bears for quite a while now. Not as favorable to the bears as it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but it's still favorable to the bears. And you also have to take the cumulative effect of the funding rate. Like right here, cumulative effect of the funding rate eventually send Bitcoin down. And this is a 1 hour chart. So sorry, I should be looking at the daily chart. Eventually sent Bitcoin down 15% on the hourly scale. That was recently. Now let's go to the daily. This is where I'm supposed to be looking at the funding rate. I actually want to zoom it out. I'm going to drop the Arun only because I'm not using it right now, but it is telling you to just stay extra bullish. I'm also going to drop the ADX. I use that very rarely. And I'm going to drop the Arun, which I also use very rarely, just so I can see the funding rate better. And as you can see, the funding rate has greatly favored the bears in the last couple of days. And the cumulative effect of the funding rate should start to take its toll. And I don't know, divergence everywhere. I got to get back on the pullback horse, guys. I got to get back on the pullback horse right now. I'm not in a rush to buy in. Too many people are calling me asking to buy Bitcoin or how to buy Bitcoin. And I'm going to go with Willy Woo as well. I was a little more bullish than Willy in our last stream together, which was the all-time high stream from Monday. And he was a little more bearish than me on that one. And I got to side with him now. We'll go up, but I'm putting 14K back on the table. There's our hourly chart. Dropping down, 4 hour. Dropping down. Funding rate on the 4 hour. Again, been favoring the bears for a little while. GBTC is pulling back. It's obviously significantly higher than when I got out. Not significantly, but higher. And I would love to buy it. I mean, in hindsight, buying it Friday was incredible. You made like 40%, thanks to the funding rate as well. Definitely a big miss. Disappointing, not picking it up right here. The half day screwed me up as well. It's hard to remember that the Friday after Thanksgiving, markets trade half day. And it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get another chance somewhere in the vicinity of 20, but I'm not sure this gap is going to close. It's possible. If we do approach that 14K, it's possible this gap will close. Gold bounced. I really wanted to see an MRI bottom. We were 2 candles off. This candle was the MRI warning candle in the beginning, but that one does go away. And it didn't stay that way. But I was right about 1750. No, I wasn't. I was off by $20. I was looking for 1750 vicinity, so I guess I was close. I missed gold as well. I wasn't paying attention yesterday. And when I was paying attention, it was already all the way up there. And I said it on a prior podcast, hey, I might be buying the gold dip, but then I wasn't paying attention and gold reversed. So a lot of this stuff is, you know what to do, but if you don't see it, you can't enter it. So those that picked up gold off of this bounce, you're doing well. I would have paid more attention to it if this happened one day later. If this bounce was happening today, I would have certainly, because yesterday I was really burned out. I wasn't ready for that 7-hour stream. So yesterday I was kind of burned out and I was doing other people's podcasts. And by the time I saw that gold rallied, it was too late. It was like literally up there by the time I realized it. So that's unfortunate. I didn't have any alerts set or anything like that. I was trying to time gold. Had this happened one day later, I would have timed it because I was paying attention this morning, but I don't chase. And also I would have had the MRI. I would have had the MRI buying opportunity today. So everything was just one day off. Today would have been if yesterday it stayed low, would have been the warning, and today would have been an MRI buy. Those that picked it up did well. Stock market is the stock market. It's going up. No comment. Those that have been holding the stock market since COVID, you've done well. That's pretty much it, guys. I don't really have much else. This is shitcoins. B-Trash bounced off the MRI low. Thank God it's going back down. So, Earth is revolving around the sun again. For some reason, I was looking at the Litecoin shitcoin and the weekly chart on the MRI top. I wasn't looking at it for myself, trust me. MRI top on the weekly Litecoin versus cash versus dollars, and nothing really interesting on the daily. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close this garbage. Okay, any questions? We have questions. Do you think rig will have a pullback to continue up? Man, I wish I stayed in my rig trade. Did well for a little while. What happened to my... Crap, right, hold on. US stock watch list. Oh, that's where Litecoin was. All right, cool. That's why it was there, I guess. So rig, it's a $2 stock. No, there's no reason for it to have a pullback. It just had a pullback. It hit the MRI double top, 1 to 4 candle correction, and back up. So no, there's no reason for it to have a pullback. The stock was unreasonably cheap. This is a massive company. It's a massive global company. There's no reason for that stock to be 65 cents. That's insane. So wish I paid closer attention to it. I was in rig during this pump. I wasn't in rig after that. I was very disappointed that it even came back, but that's because it went up too far too fast. May pull back to $1.50. I don't know, but it's a $2 stock. I mean, what do you expect? Tesla just keeps going higher. I actually haven't seen it in a few days. It's probably at $1,000 again. Oh, Tesla hit an MRI top the other day. On November 30th, Tesla hits an MRI top. Wow, that was a nice. People can make fun of this indicator all they like, but those that had it and were long Tesla are certainly happy they caught this. And I just want to make sure we pull Tesla up in our alert notification Telegram channel. I'm going to do a search for Tesla. And there it is. Boom. Check this out. So in the Telegram channel, which I should probably put a link to in the bottom of this video, and this has been free for a year, and it was only supposed to be free for 3 months because I was supposed to roll out a paid subscription service, which I still haven't, unfortunately. And this was the notification. This was in Telegram. So this was in Telegram on Monday at $592. Look at the candle. That's when we notified Tesla is hitting an MRI top. Now, this is not a trading recommendation. It's just an informational recommendation. Hey, Tesla is on an MRI top. You know, pay attention if you know how to trade the indicator, because if you don't know how to trade the indicator, this is dangerous information. But those that know how to trade the indicator should know what to do. That's when we notified. And here's what it looks like. Here's what it looked like the rest of the day. And then here's what it looks like today. So from the notification point, and if you paid attention, you would have known even earlier than our notification, because our notification is based on a human person actually looking through these things and manually posting them. So if that human person is a day later, I mean, it is what it is. It's a free service. You know, you get what you pay for. And here we are from the moment of notification at around 592. Tesla has fallen 9%, though at the moment it's only down 5%. But this morning was down way more. So yeah, those that paid attention, Certainly don't complain about this indicator. Tilray, another stock I was long, made money, but didn't stay with it. Though I don't regret not staying with it as much. This is the daily chart. That was a beautiful buying opportunity on a weekly MRI low. I was in it back here somewhere in April, May. But right here was the weekly MRI buy. And I might have went into it again, but I think I was out over here on the MRI sell because I definitely wasn't in it here. I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. You know, for the little trading that I do, you'd think I remember. But on a weekly scale, you had the MRI warning last week, but it's going to be tricky getting to the MRI top this week. We would need to close at a new weekly swing high. But that's a beautiful buying opportunity with the MRI. Any other questions? MSCI. Wow. I used to work at MSCI. One of my Wall Street jobs was MSCI. So, wow, that's a $400 stock? Holy shit. Wow, because that company was going kind of downhillish while I left. Well, they're certainly doing well. Well, they are a cash cow company. They have a business that can't really be matched. I didn't like the culture. The corporate culture there was horrible. That's why I didn't like working there. God, I hope my old coworkers aren't watching. They're still there. Uh, 2015 is actually, no, wait, I left in 2012. When did I leave the company? I think I left in 2012. I left a different company in 2015. I left in 2012. So I left the company, holy shit, right here. After I left the company, the stock crashed, obviously because I left. But then it was on a tear. Wow, I haven't looked at the stock in forever. Holy shit, they've done well. Wow. They weren't affected by COVID at all. Oh, very little. Shit. I mean, I wouldn't buy into it now, but if I held it since 2015, like somebody in the live chat, I mean, I'd still hold it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If I put Consensio or moving averages on, they're gonna go through the roof. I'm just impressed with how well MSCI has done. Gee. GE's coming back, still way off the lows. I don't know. See, it's like the opposite chart of MSCI. Like MSCI has done nothing but go up, and look at GE. It's got done nothing but go down for 20 years. 20 years. Imagine the inflation. Like you just lost in the last 20 years. You're down 80%. It's like a shit coin. And inflation. Like if you would have done so that's an 80% drop, and then in the stock. Well, actually, inflation is embedded in the stock, but had you just had like a savings account or some CDs for 20 years, you could have probably doubled your money by now in 20 years, even with like, let's say, a 3% interest rate. 3% over 20 years, compounded monthly, you almost double your money. or you double your money. You can check that. Maybe 3.5 would double your money for 20 years. Like it's like it's like the opposite of MSCI for 20 years. Though MSCI wasn't a public stock in 2010 or sorry 2000, so it only has a 12-year history. Nothing but up. They launched right in the 08 crisis, and then from there. Should probably look at the daily chart. Looks good. Still looks bullish. What's UAA? Under Armour. Wait, I thought that was UA. Oh, don't tell me Under Armour finally went up, because I was holding this shit long for so long and I eventually gave up. This actually pisses me off because I went long Under Armour in the aftermath of the COVID shit, and it just got stuck under $10. And I had this thing for months. It was like the longest trade I've done in like a decade, because I'm not a long-term trader. And I had this thing for like 6 months and it did shit and I couldn't hold on to it anymore. So I just got out and now it freaking rises. There were definitely better opportunities, but hey, anytime you make money is good. So I'm a little pissed on that. Had a big run up here. Oh, almost doubled in price. And it hits an MRI top. So I wonder if we notified Under Armour the other day. Let me see. Let me see if Under Armour was on our list of notifications. It was. But I don't think we notified in November. Maybe it was UAA. No. Looks like we notified in September on UAA. So it would have been, what was there in September? We notified in October as well, but we didn't notify on this one, unfortunately. Oh, well. Can't notify them on them all. When I launched the subscription service, before I'm 80, you can choose your assets. Hey guys, this video has gone way too long already. Canaan. It's pulling back. I think it'll be, I think you can get to 250 maybe. That's the prior swing high. Canaan really went up a lot. Another stock I was talking about for a year. And it literally rallied 300%. Jesus. I think it's good for a 50% correction. Down to 350, $3. Yeah, I mean, if you pay attention to these things. No, I never got into Canaan. I kept talking about it, especially during this weekly MRI buy. But I never got in. All right, and I'll look at one more. I'll look at MicroStrategies. It should be following Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's pulling back. This thing's going to pull back hard. So I'll wait for it to close the gap. Maybe both. All right, guys, that's it for me. That's it for me. Once again, we still have videos on sale. And the MRI itself is also on sale. Almost down 50% in price for the sale. So check that out. Sale will be here for the rest of the year. And after that, prices go up. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to cut the screen share somewhere. There it is. All right. Thank you all for watching, and see you all on the next one.